Hi! So here it is. I'm making a video about my scoliosis and more precisely how exercises help me with this condition. So I thought of giving a little introduction about the whole scoliosis journey that I had went through, and if you want to skip it right to the exercises that I do that help me, you can do that. I will link down which time I am actually starting the exercise. But so if you want to hear, then I try to keep it short. So basically I was diagnosed at 14, I think 13 or 14, and I was already done growing, and I had a quite severe curve. It was an S shape, and the surgeon measured 38 degrees thoracic and around 30 lumbar. And so from 14 to 17, they did regular x-rays and my curves did not progress. And so actually I was prescribed some kind of physiotherapy, but it was very basic. It was a group of kids doing the same things, nothing specific to the curve, and some swimming, and that's it. Basically, I actually did not have any physical therapy, and also I had zero pain. And my scoliosis was diagnosed just by an accident, not by accident, just by I went to my doctor for another condition. I don't remember, I was sick or something, and she was looking at my back, auscultating the back, and then she said, oh wow, it seems so weird and maybe you should do an x-ray. And everybody was shocked. I remember my parents and myself, I could not believe how I could be sick because I never had a single problem at the back. Yeah, but then of course I accepted this and I went through my life. So my last x-ray at 17 showed that I did not progress as I mentioned, and so the surgeon said, okay, you don't need the surgery, you should be, it seems like you're stable, you just try to be active during your life, that's it. And then, well, yeah, I was active, let's say, as a teenager, especially. I loved sports. I did Aikido and swimming. I remember I could do push-ups and pull-ups. But then at 18, I started studying at the university, and I really didn't have time. I was so much engaged in studies, and I had really no time to take care of myself. And also at that time I didn't have back pain, so I didn't really think of it. I just basically did nothing. So 10 years later, I started having more back pain. I was used to having increasingly, like with years, some pain. For example, if I walk really long or I have a long working day, at the end of the day I will have some fatigue and pain. But then usually I go to sleep and the next day I wake up fresh and new. It's all fine. But then with years, I think like 27 or something, 28, I started having more and more pain. And I went once to a shop to buy a t-shirt, I remember, and it happened that the shop had 3 mirrors around me, and I could see my back. Usually you don't see your bare back somehow, but at that time I remember I saw it, and it used to be quite asymmetric. Well, most of the people wouldn't even notice, even the doctors. Doctors did notice, but normal people, they don't. Even my parents didn't notice. So as a teenager, but then when I saw it, when I was like 27, 28, I saw that it was really more asymmetrical than before. It was really, I got scared, and I also thought like, okay, then maybe I should check it. So then I booked an appointment. 1 year later, I could go there, and I met with the doctor, the spinal specialist, and we did an x-ray, and I had 50 degrees thoracic and around 30 lumbar, and also I had developed a little neck curve. It's not completely straight. I don't know if you can see, it's a little bit curved, like a compensatory curve. So I thought, wow, I was 38, now 50. It seems like I progressed like 1 degree per year. It's a lot. So nobody had even told me that adult spine can progress. Somehow everybody was speaking about, okay, while you are adolescent, you still have growth left, so maybe you will progress, but after maturity, But I wish they would have told me. So I was really disappointed, and I spoke with the surgeon, and he suggested to do a fusion because it seems like it's progressing, and I am still relatively young. It's better to do it now than if I need it in old age. And it was 2020, beginning of the 2020, so I was in the waiting list, and the corona started. It was postponed, and I think during the quarantine I started having severe, not really severe, but like moderate pain. And what happened is that I would get this pain for 3 consecutive days, and this was something new. I never used to have that, so I was quite scared. Like, I thought, wow, is it gonna go worse every time, and just what I'm gonna end up with? Like, and also I have no idea when they're gonna do the surgery. So at that time I was a little bit sad, and I contacted the same doctor and asked him, maybe you can prescribe some physiotherapy or something I want to try for the back. And so in this country, in my country, I live in Switzerland, they prescribe vouchers. So you can choose the physiotherapy where you want. Then I got prescription and I went there. And then we did a picture the first day. I think it was like beginning of the summer. And then I started training, and we did quite some stretching, muscle training. In total, I think for 4.5 months. And I went there 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week. They were very kind to allow me to go there a bit more than usually was prescribed. And so the initial time was 30 minutes, but I could stay there a bit longer and finish the exercise. So they would show me, then I do myself, and that's how I exercise. So in total, I think 3-4 hours per week. Also, I try to do it at home. And we started with very simple things and very little weights, but then progressively I took more weights and I started working more with machines and really tried to build a muscle. And the effect of this was that I almost ended up without pain. Like, these weird, continuous pain disappeared, and I still had fatigue at the end of the day, but it was really, really better. And at the end, when I finished all these therapy, I had a certain amount, how much I can go there, and then at the end we did a photo. So it was a really, really huge improvement for myself. And then I just wanted to continue, and I started looking on social media. On Facebook, I looked for some groups where there's people with scoliosis share their stories on what they do, and I thought of asking some things, and then I shared my story, and many people supported, and they were very happy about it, and they asked me what kind of exercise do I do. So then I thought I will once make a video that now I'm doing. And then I also learned that many people said that it's really helpful to do Schroth, so-called Schroth physiotherapy, which is specific for the spine, specifically for your curve. And many people said it helps. So then I was looking for a therapist. I asked again my surgeon to give me more physiotherapy vouchers, and he gave. And in the end, I was able to find a Schroth therapist, and I started exercising with her. So Schroth is, you can say it's an exercise, but I think it's even more than that, because you try to correct your asymmetry, and also you learn to be more aware of how you sit, how you walk, and try to correct it during all the other activities. So there are specific exercise together with breathing that you do. I will explain that. But also, I think it's also important to continue it. Well, this is what she told me. So I still continued at home my muscle building and some these old exercise, and then I did Schroth. And I remember for like a few months, I had zero pain. Really. Like, I'm also working very hard. I do research, so I work for, sometimes 10, 12 hours. Well, 12 rarely, but let's say 9 or 10, and also take a train to go to my work, which takes me going back 3 hours. So I really get tired. But when I did these two things, I had zero pain, not even fatigue in the end. And that was like magic. So then, yeah, I thought like, wow, I really found what I thought, okay, the Schroth is making this magic and I should just concentrate it on it. And little by little, I abandoned a little bit my muscle building and these things I did in this gym or in the physiotherapy before. And my pain started coming back a little bit. The fatigue and at the end of the day, it was coming back. And also a month ago broke my ACL while skiing. It's a ligament in the knee, and also then that didn't help at all. I could not do my exercise for 1 or 2 weeks because my knee was really swollen and everything. So then my pain really came back, and because of not doing this exercise, I really saw, wow, okay, I must do this, otherwise the pain is pretty hard. So then I got some also vouchers for the knee, and I went to the same old physiotherapy, and they gave me a new exercise for the knee, and also I did my old stuff for the back. And so little by little, now it's been 1 month, I'm doing also Schroth, and I'm back to the same gym and doing same back exercises. I feel way better again. I did not yet reach the same level I was, maybe also because with a broken ligament, when I walk, I unconsciously put more weight on my one side. I don't know. I really hope I will go back to the same level, but still, I mean, it's still really, really good. Yeah. So after almost these 10 months of training, Schroth and gym, physical therapy, I went back again to the surgeon and we did an X-ray. And when he measured the angles, it looked like thoracic curve had decreased around 5 degrees. Depending a little bit how I measure, it was like 43 point something or. And one more thing I would like to say about the gym. So when you go to the gym, depending on your level, maybe you are all advanced, so it's great. But if you are a beginner, maybe start slowly and take almost don't take at the beginning the weight. Maybe take 1 kilo and do it really carefully, because I remember when I did not go to the gym when I started Schroth, and for 4 months or something I didn't go to the gym. I went back and I started doing my normal routine of this lifting and the machines, and I could not walk for the next 3 days. So I was really in pain, but then it went away. Anyway, and as a rule of thumb, you should take the weight that you can repeat 8 to 12 times, and you do 3 to 4 sets of that. And then every day increase maybe 1 kilo or I don't know, half a kilo as you can. And in that way, you will not end up with really severe soreness the next days, and you will anyway build the muscle. Yeah, so that's the thing. All right, so first I will share what I do with Schroth. Usually when I begin my exercises, I do the Schroth for maybe 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and then I continue the exercise I can do at home for the back, for the muscle training, and that's it. Usually I try to do as much as I can, but because of work, I can do it maybe 3-4 hours a week in total. And of course, if you have the possibility to go to the gym or to go to the physiotherapist that has a gym, that's the best. I think that's the best. If not, maybe let's try doing it at home. It's a bit harder, but I think it's still possible. So with Schroth, you try to correct your posture, and more precisely, the back that has scoliosis has some convexities and concavities. So my physiotherapist would call a mountain and a valley. And here, my specific curve that is a triple curve, is in right thoracic major, You can see she draw these darker circles where I have convexities or mountains. And what I want to do is to push those anteriorly or forward and equalize the back to make it more flat. Of course, if you have a different curve, absolutely you have to adjust these things, and the best is to go to a therapist and ask him, and he will correct you. That this is quite hard, I think, to learn by your own, but if there is absolutely no possibility, maybe then just try. So I will explain the principle. So most importantly, you have to remember that you have to stretch the spine and prolongate it, which is represented by these up and down arrows on the head and the lower part. Then when you breathe in, depending on your curve, so for me, right thoracic, I have to expand my left rib cage and also my lower right lumbar area, and if possible, cervical upper. Well, that sounds very complicated, but I mostly concentrate on expanding my left rib cage because otherwise it's so complicated. And then when you breathe out, you push your protrusions inwards. So the areas that are marked in the circle that are actually convexities in my case, I push them inward and you repeat. You breathe in, expand left rib cage, breathe out, really push those convexities inwards. For me, with my right shoulder, actually the pushing is not, it's kind of specific. She calls it screwing. So you rotate it in a way that it pushes forward. And you will see in the next video how she teaches me to do that. And this should be this kind of pushing. It's impossible to show it on 2D image, but you should do it all the time with all these corrections. And she advised me to do less reps, but with a lot of force. So maybe for me it was like 5 or 10 max, and then you rest and you can do it again if you're not dizzy. But dizziness, at the beginning I had some dizziness, but it went away with time. So once you learn the principle, it repeats throughout all these exercises. So it's the same kind of breathing, correcting, but in different positions. So you can also take the sticks, which helps you stretch the spine, like here in the photo. Or here, let's say I'm sitting on the ball and pushing with the bars. As well, you can also lay down and you push with your right hand. So, but basically it's all the same. So now I will show how she corrects me when I learn.
Okay, Wärmüsse, so ist gut. Das musst du immer ein bisschen ausprobieren. Manchmal, wenn es ganz akut ist, ist manchmal
Maybe the right hand slightly more up.
Manchmal, wenn es so 2-3 Tage
Yes.
ist es gäbiger, wenn es etwas Warmes ist. Das musst du
And the right pelvis slightly more down again. Yes, like that.
Und dann gibt es nichts anderes als
ich hoffe jetzt, dass es nicht passiert.
Perfect. So what do you do with your shoulder?
Shoulder goes back.
Yeah.
Rotates.
Do it again, the activity. Yes, yes.
And the elbow goes the other way. No, like this.
Yes, exactly. Yes, okay. And now you have too much lordosis in your lower back, so you have to, yes. Okay, now that's perfect. Quite good in your right shoulder blade, but still you could make the screwing movement more. So, yes. And remember the left lower back to also pull it in. Yeah, because you are kind of leaning too much to the left. So you have to stabilize the lower back. It needs activity in the left lower back. So here I'm doing it at home with my own sticks.
What I do with the Schroth, I bend the knees, lean forward, and I correct with the breathing.
I found using two mirrors really useful. You can see if you really correct it well. So I put one mirror on the chair and I look at this big one and I can see more if I'm doing it correctly. So here I tried to also do the same sitting on the ball exercise. Yeah, I don't have the bar, but I find my wardrobe pretty comfortable, allowing me to do this. So yeah, you stretch, you breathe in, expand the left rib cage, breathe out, push the convexities in, and repeat. Here's another variation if we have a bar, and then I use a cord from broken bikes, a tire inward thingy, the tube that goes inward. Anyway, you attach the stick, and when you push, when you breathe out, you also push your hands downwards and you also stretch the spine. So this is I really like this one as well. Here it's from the side, and you could see I really push my hump, that right upper rib hump that I have, so my back looks almost flat here. And also then when you breathe in, you expand the left rib cage, breathe out, push convexities in and bring the bar towards you. And here also laying down, and because I have left lumbar curve, I put a little towel just to correct it passively, and I use a chair, and it's basically the same correction, but I push with my hand. Actually, it's not really pushing with the upper hand, but more with this screwing, this shoulder kind of movement that she taught, and you feel your rib cage going inwards, and also you stretch your right leg. Yeah, so now let's move on to the muscle training. So I have saved some videos from before I did the Schroth, and while my trainer was teaching new exercises, we made most of the times a video, and here you can see them. So it's in French, but I think you can see how I move and how I correct. So basically what I did.
Donc voilà, là c'est jambe droite, rotation droite. C'est bien bloquer la hanche. D'accord, tu vas essayer de chercher au maximum là-haut. Voilà. D'accord, là il n'y a pas grand chose, il y a peut-être 1 kg ou 2. Et donc là ça vient bloquer ici. Voilà, grâce à la jambe ici. D'accord, c'est le premier celui-là. Ok, deuxième en incluant le gainage. Les genoux ils sont levés ici. D'accord, bras tendus un peu plus. Flexion droite. Très bien. Ok, sur le ventre. Ouais. Hop là, mise en place. Donc là tu as le genou, voilà, devant qui est plié. Ok, hop. Et on va regarder vraiment à l'opposé là-haut. Écarte peut-être la jambe derrière. Voilà. Et donc là cette fois-ci les hanches elles tournent. D'accord, de face. Hop, et là rotation de hanche. Très bien. On en profite pour aller plus loin derrière. Bien. Parfait. On vient se mettre en position de table. Le genou en bas ici plié. La jambe de derrière levée pour pouvoir descendre le dos. Il faut pas que la fesse de derrière là-bas elle se lève trop, donc les deux fesses sur le même plan. Et on reste bien droit, on descend le dos, encore. Voilà, pour lever la jambe et on va chercher bien loin. 10 comme ça. Bien. Position de squat, là, derrière, c'est parfait. Et puis, on descend et c'est bien. On garde les fesses en bas. Allez, écarte bien les mains en arrière. Bien. Allez, encore 2. Les mains en arrière. C'est parti. Ok, et tu contrôles bien au niveau de la respiration. Voilà, très bien. Ça ne doit pas frotter au niveau des genoux, donc les fesses en arrière, les bras qui pendent, le dos suffisamment en avant pour pouvoir que ça se fasse naturellement sans frotter les genoux. C'est bien. Donc là on est à 10-15 kg, voilà, donc pas trop, mais ça commence à chauffer. Encore, on essaye d'en faire 10-12 comme ça, c'est bien. Le plus important c'est le mouvement, de bien faire le mouvement. Ok, donc on a dit avant-bras parallèle. Là ça doit pas frotter, hein, on est d'accord? Voilà, tu lèves, tu poses. Et pas trop haut, voilà, on redescend gentiment. Ça fait comme des C. Dedans, dehors, dedans, dehors. 2-3 allers-retours, c'est déjà suffisant. Hein. Serre bien les omoplates derrière, c'est bien. Voilà, c'est bien. 5, 4, 3, 2. Ok. Va bien chercher en arrière, en rotation. Ouvre la poitrine devant. On inspire bien, tu tournes bien la tête. On souffle, c'est important de bien tourner. Hein. Ok.
Okay, so going back home, now I show you what I like to do after my Schroth. So I also really like to hang on the bar. I try to do a minute or a minute and a half. I really like this one. So you basically make your back straight. And then you bend your knees forward and it trains the back and the abs pretty well. I barely could do 10 reps and now I do maybe 20 and maybe 3 sets. So here's another one, laying on the side. And at the beginning I used only this side. Now I do both of the sides. And I remember I did it was pretty hard. I did maybe 7 reps max. Now I do around 20 and also I take a kilo, a dumbbell because it's a little bit too easy. This one is really good for your upper back. At the beginning I started, I think I took a kilo, a dumbbell, and I did maybe 10-12 reps. Here I took 2 kilo. Actually, I don't have more than 2 at home, but at the gym I take sometimes 3 and 4. And then, so 12 reps, you rest, and you can repeat a few times. Here I'm going to lift the left arm and the right leg and the other side, and I will keep it for a minute. So at the beginning I think I started like something like 10 seconds and now I try to keep it longer. Somehow it was very hard, this one for me, and I started without any dumbbells. Then I took half a kilo and now I'm doing a kilo. And then change the sides and do exactly the same. You can see how in the end my arm goes down. It's really hard. I can barely keep it lifted. Yeah, but I just try my best. This one usually I do on the bench in the gym, but at home I found that my sofa is pretty okay. And so what you do, you really train your lower back. So you hold on the bench or here on the sofa, and you lift your legs up and you keep them close. And then you stay like this for as long as you can. So at the beginning I think I did a minute or maybe less. Now I do around 2 minutes or so. And here is a very nice stretching exercise that I was taught. So you stretch the back and you relax, and you can feel how the spine is being prolongated. And then you move to the side slowly with the hands, with the finger movement, as much as you can. You can feel the tension on the side. Then again, you relax and stay like this for a couple of seconds. And then you move the other side and do the same. Next I do my planks. So these are called Dr. Fishman side planks, and you can check on the internet. They're specific to the curve, and because I have this major thoracic and lower lumbar, I do on this side. So first I do this one, and I train my upper right thoracic region. And these planks are great in combination with Schroth. So I also try to do the Schroth with the breathing and correcting, and trying to really make my back straight. I stay for a minute and a half. And one tip, I always take a mirror to check if I am aligned, because if I don't see myself, I bend in weird ways, and it's really hard to do it correctly. So here I do the left side. This is to train the left lower back or my lumbar region. And yeah, I do it also 1 minute and a half. And this is the final plank position. So my right heel touches the wall. If you can, try not to touch is the best, but for me it's too hard. And I think I see now I should move my right leg a little forward to make it more straight, but I was a bit tired at the end here. So this is my absolute favorite. So this was the first exercise my physio taught me, and he said do 1 minute a day. And every time you have pain in the back, usually I have like upper back or sometimes lower back pain. Yeah, so this is what I do. First you start without any weights. So yeah, lie down like this. Really stretch the arms and your spine. Try to prolongate it, and then you lift your legs. You don't have to completely make them straight. They can be bent. And just stay like this, and just really stretch the spine longer. And so at the beginning I started for 1 minute, and then it increased, and then now I do 5 minutes. And also I take 10 kilos medicine ball because it's too easy, and I don't have a heavier one, but if I hope I had, maybe I have to buy one. That's great. So this exercise I do at the end of all the training. It really helps me to stretch and relax, and just feels so great. Yeah, this is really my favorite one. My back feels so great. It's relaxed and fresh and a little bit tense, but I don't know how to describe it. It's the right kind of tension, straight. I love this feeling. So whenever I have to motivate myself again for the next day, I try to remember this amazing feeling after workout. You're done and you feel so great and you have zero pain at that moment. Yeah, and then you will want to do it again. And I think I started getting addicted, and sometimes I go to my physio, this little gym, and I spend 2 hours. They already complain and want to kick me out. It's too long. But I don't really feel the time going. I just love doing these exercises. I could stay even more than a few hours, I guess. It helped me tremendously, and I hope it can help you too. Of course, if you have the opportunity, always go to a specialist, and really that's the best when they can see how you do it, they can correct. And also they know how much to push you, that you do to your max, but not too much that you would feel pain the next day. This is what was my physical trainer, actually. Was really great. So yeah, I hope anyway that at least some of these exercises might help you as well as it helped me. Good luck!